Today, I want to talk about what I believe is the most important issue facing our nation today, one that affects almost all the other problems we are dealing with. There's a mental health epidemic in this country, and we are doing nothing about it. Each year, more and more people are becoming reliant on antidepressants and other behavior-altering medications, doing little for their well-being, but making the pharmaceutical companies billions. This epidemic could be linked to an increase in crime, drug use, homelessness, domestic violence, school shootings, and suicides. Meanwhile, a divided society mixed with high inflation, rising interest rates, decreasing wages, a smaller workforce, and poor education leave even more Americans feeling the future is hopeless. Far too often, these illnesses are left untreated, only masking symptoms with medications that enrich pharmaceutical companies, but do little or nothing to treat the underlying problems. Even worse, our mental health facilities have been overwhelmed with an increase in patients, decreasing the quality of care these patients receive. And of course, our suicide rate continues to climb. To be honest, I don't have all the answers on how to fix this problem. I do believe it takes a combination of efforts, none more important than recalibrating our moral compass as a nation. But being a good leader doesn't always mean having the right answers. Being a good leader means not stopping until you find the right answers. There is a way to improve our mental health as a nation, but we must have leaders willing to acknowledge what a serious problem it has become in the first place. And once they do, they can begin engaging with the mental health experts in this country who actually have ideas on how we can remove antidepressants from our culture and are willing to speak up to the pharmaceutical companies who continue to destroy lives for profit. This is something that will never happen if you have politicians funded by these same companies at the highest levels of our government. And the only way to change that is for caring and passionate Americans to stand up and offer themselves as leaders so the people have something real to vote for. None of our problems will ever be solved if we continue to believe that the corrupt politicians we have elected for years will fix them. And the truth is, we're all fools if we think that's how our democracy is supposed to work. The roles of government belong to people who can think critically and have reasonable discourse on behalf of those they have sworn to serve. Until you believe that's what your government is for you, it is your responsibility to do something about it. Starting a campaign is not that expensive. Filing as a candidate and launching a website is not that hard. Engaging with people to share your concern for them is easy if you really care. And the more local the election is, the more important it should be, and the easier it should be to do. If you're smarter than your elected officials, you definitely know it. If you care more than those elected to lead you, you definitely know it. And if you do nothing to stop them from spreading decay throughout virtually every aspect of American life, when this all comes tumbling down and it was you who could have stopped it, you will definitely know it. As for me, I want to be able to look in the mirror and tell myself with a straight face that I did everything I could to save my country. And if we're lucky, millions of you will be able to say the same thing, and our halls of government will be restored with the faithful leadership our democracy requires. Once reasonable and caring Americans are left to discuss the policies that benefit the people, problems we have today will start finding real solutions, and the outlook for tomorrow will start pointing upward again. To the millions of Americans out there who know I'm talking about you, I am. Wake up and do what you know you need to do. Your country needs you now more than it's ever needed its people. And if you don't stand up to take on your responsibilities, then our leadership will only be left with corruption. You will only be left with regret. And our mental health problems, along with the rest of them, will only get worse. A true democracy requires us, the people, to identify those among ourselves who possess the proper traits and characteristics necessary to be our leaders. And to return America to the democracy it was meant to be, we must all be willing to do our part. I implore each of you to take some time to seriously consider what you or someone you know could do to make tomorrow better than it is today. And I encourage all of you to throw caution to the wind and take on the challenge of a lifetime by participating in a new revolution born by recapturing the initial purpose of our democracy we've long forgotten. We can take the power in this country back if we all do it together. And once a new generation of leadership is in place, we can finally start hashing out solutions to all our problems. None more critical than addressing the mental health needs of our nation and preventing future generations from inheriting these symptoms as part of their culture. Don't give up on your nation. Instead, start participating in your government the way you were supposed to from the start. The way big money made impossible for your parents and even theirs, but technology makes possible for you today. It's time we recognize the opportunity that we have to reclaim America, for it once again to be a nation of, by, and for people. For us once again to be mentally healthy, safer, better educated, better paid, and for our children's future to have a better outlook. This effort takes all of us willing to do our part. So find a way you can help restore democracy, and together let's take back our country and lead it the right way. Thank you.